Hello traders, Rich here and here's a quick but detailed update on DOT. As usual, if you guys like video analysis, let me know in the comments or simply leave a like. So let's get started. As we clearly see, DOT has been overall bullish for a while, making higher lows and higher highs trading inside this orange rising broadening wedge. And price is currently in a correction phase. And when we are overall bullish, we're waiting for the correction phase to end to catch what? The next impulse movement. But we can't really know where the correction would end. It can end here or even dive a little bit deeper before going upward. That's why even though we are overall bullish, we don't buy blindly. We always wait for two things. The first one is a key rejection area, which is in our case this non-horizontal support, as we can see in brown, rejecting and pushing the price higher. The second thing is we always zoom into lower time frames to confirm that the buyers are finally taking over again before we buy, because we are currently obviously overall bearish even from a medium-term perspective. But if the bears break below this low, which would also be a break below this orange trend line holding the price up, in this case, the bears will remain in control and the movement that our next support would be expected, where we'll be looking for new basket ups to form. But for now, as per the current market conditions, we are around or above the orange trend line. That's why let's zoom into lower time frames to look for budget ups for extra confirmation. You can clearly see that we were overall bullish in this impulse phase. Then around the upper trend line, the bears took over by breaking below this low. So now we are overall bearish and price started to make lower lows and lower highs, right? So we had this high, lower high, then broke below the previous low. Now we had this impulse, correction, impulse, and then price got stuck inside this consolidation, which means that the sellers are exhausted and failed to make a lower low and failed to trade lower. And at least for now, as mentioned previously, if the bears break below this area, then we can see like a bearish movement around the next support. But long story short, we are now bearish and we are waiting for the buyers to take over for a shift in momentum from bearish to bullish. In this case, we can expect that the impulse movement upward would start. So we'll be waiting for price to break above this one, above this last swing high, which would also be the neckline of this head and shoulders pattern, and to also break above this correction channel. Meanwhile, until this happens, DOT would be overall bearish and can still trade lower and lower. So this would be our trigger. Let me highlight it as usual. And we are looking for bust stops in the first place because we are what? Overall bullish, right? In this case, we'll expect a bullish movement till around the upper trend line, which would be around the 60.0. Before we continue, I want to tell you about Kucoin. Kucoin is one of the largest crypto exchanges in the world with over 600 billion traded volume on the platform and 8 million registered users from more than 200 different countries. Moreover, Kucoin has been rated the best crypto exchange by Forbes Advisor, and according to Coinmarketcap, Kucoin is a top 3 in terms of overall performance. Kucoin offers a wide range of services and features. Of course, you first got spot trading and margin trading, but with more than 540 listed coins and 960 trading pairs. You also got trading bot, staking, mining pool, and many, many more. And I'll make sure to make a detailed video about each and every feature. For now, if you don't have an account yet, I'll make sure to include the links in the description below, and let's continue. As we clearly see, NQ1 has been overall bullish for a while, trading inside this brown channel, making higher lows and higher highs, right? And we are currently sitting around the upper bound or upper brown trend line, acting as a non-horizontal resistance, or what I also consider an overbought area. We can see multiple rejections from it previously here and here as well. And of course, as price approaches the lower bound or lower brown trend line, acting as a non-horizontal support, we'll be looking for trend following buy setups to catch the next impulse movement upward, just like previously here, here, and here as well. So long story short, now price is around the upper bound, so we are expecting a correction just like previously, but of course we know that price can still test the 17k round number before the correction starts. So we don't sell blindly, even though we are around a rejection, a resistance area. We always zoom into lower time frames to look for extra confirmation for the bears to take over, for the correction movement to start. So if we zoom into H4 time frame, we can see that we are also overall bullish. The price is making higher lows and higher highs, and this is our last major low. So for the bears to take over from a medium term perspective, we need to see a break below this area. But since price is also around the upper bound, we will also zoom into lower time frames and look for sell setups to catch this movement downward from a short-term perspective. If we zoom into H1 time frame, we can see that the price, or the swing that we saw, the last impulse from H4, is actually a channel which is currently forming. But of course, the channel is not valid yet, so we'll be waiting for price to form a third swing around it to consider it valid, and to also consider it our trigger swing. For those who know me already, I highlight this one as our trigger. And then and only then, when this happens and a break below the previous low, we can expect a correction movement from a short-term perspective from H1. And as mentioned previously, we need to see a break below this low, and then we can confirm that a movement till our lower support will be expected, where we'll be looking for new buy setups to form. So that's it for NQ1. Best of luck, and I'll see you on the next one.